Welcome to the stream, everybody. Hello, Magic Monsters. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. It's going to be a very exciting day. We're starting soon. I was just commenting on my own YouTube because that's how I roll. But don't forget, shameless plug, I don't know when it ends. I really don't. I don't pay attention to these things, but it ends soon. The sale's got a couple things. The Battle Sounds Library is doing pretty good on the sale. Nobody's bought the character collection. Maybe it's just the season of people not wanting to spend that much because of taxes here in the U.S. I don't know. But maybe the sound pack isn't doing that well. It's really, where is it? Okay, maybe it's not, and I was just being optimistic. Um, wow. All right, it's fairly down there. Um, oh well. Oh well. What can you do? Anyways, welcome to the stream. We're gonna add Unity events. So I was after. I don't know if any of you were watching the game dev show this morning. If you were, then you may have heard some witty banter about Unity events. After the show, I was mentioning to Wyman, I was like, I actually didn't even think about Unity events. Uh-oh. I only have one mic. You know I have? Okay, no. Here we go. What's this? What's that? How's that? Okay, you know what? It's weird. That probably was the case yesterday and nobody mentioned it or something because, well, I'll show you. I have two mics here. I don't know why. I have to figure out why. Maybe one of these I can remove from this view. I don't know. But I think I noticed one was down the other day and brought it up thinking I was muted. So maybe that's when I did it. Anyways, hi Tech Dave 99. The point is, I told the man, Wyman, that I had never really thought about Unity events for it. I never think about Unity events, and that's why you don't see any in my stuff. I should think about them, and I think after today, you're gonna see more of them because there's no reason not to. Yeah. The whole system does use events. It's an event based system. There's a life cycle of a projectile that it goes through, and things can tap into those, and that's how you do the things, the different behaviors. And I don't think that's going to change. That's still the way to do it, but adding the ability to do Unity events seems like a reasonable way of adding additional functionality. But if you think about Unity events, so the point is with Unity events is when you're shooting off a projectile, maybe you want to know something happens. Honestly, you're not going to necessarily want to know every single projectile. You might want to know every single projectile. That's what the global event thing is for. So there's an option for that. But I'm thinking the most use case for Unity events is probably going to be for the projectile spawner, or for global events. I don't think you're going to want to know a specific projectile like you might. And Story had the example of every fifth one has a different thing, and maybe there's something that's really a different spawn behavior, though. You just write a script for that. But anyways, the point is that Unity events are perhaps helpful for people who want to use them. It just makes it more extensible, is all. And so it makes sense to add them. Boom. These are the Sinti particles. Oh, I just got smacked by. Oh, I smacked by another one. All right. So where would these live? Like if I'm thinking I'm a developer, I'm looking at my. Let's start with the spawner. Where's my player? Why should I name it something differently? Oh, it's at the bottom. This is the spawner. This has a life cycle. This does the spawn. There's a couple things here. So let's look at the actual code. Let me clean this up. Close tabs in group and close other tabs. There we go. Projectile spawner. All right. So I still need to write. Well, I've got a lot of comments here. I like writing comments before I ship things because I know some people do go through the code and they talk about how it's nicely commented. So let's add some Unity events for various things. I'm just going to go through the methods and just find the ones that make sense. All right, show trajectory. Hmm. Yeah, I guess we can add an event for this. Let's see. We're going to use the AI, by the way. Add a Unity event for show trajectory start and stop. Boom. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Is this a Unity event, though? Uh-huh. No, that's not a Unity event. Let's ask the other AI. So that was GitHub Copilot, but it's pulling from the rest of my code. So it was really just copying the rest of my code. So we're gonna do. I'd like these to be Unity events, so they can show in the inspector. Since I've not used Unity events, this is gonna be a learning experience for me. You can change your delegates and events to Unity events so they can be visible and edible, blah, blah, not edible, editable, edible. So these are going to be the Unity events. Oh, we need to import the missing thing. Okay. And then what is this? Make sure to create new instances of the Unity events. You can also add a default method to be called, but it's optional. Okay. All right. So let's do this in start. Where's start? Do I have start? I don't know if I do. I don't have a start. We never start because I don't have a start, but we can add a start. Where do I want to add the start? Right here. Protected virtual void start. I'm making this virtual so people can. So this is how Unity events work. This is different from the other events. No coalescing assignment. And we'll add the rest here too. Keep the pattern going. In fact, let's see if the AI wants to just tell me what other events I might need. No? It doesn't? Okay. Does this work? Let's see. Do these just show up now? Is that how that's supposed to work in the inspector? It does. On show trajectory start. On show trajectory stop. All right, let's do a header here. Whoops. Some tooltips. If I can type. I might not be able to type today, by the way. It's clear at this point that my hands aren't working properly, so might not be able to type. All right. And the trajectory starts to show, and yep. Okay, and then I think we're gonna have to move this before I go forward because I want the debugging part to be at the bottom. So we'll move that up there and see how it looks in our inspector gadget. Has no one made a tool on the Asset Store called Inspector Gadget? Unity events. Do tooltips even show? No tooltips show. All right, but that's okay. Look, now you can add Unity events for those things. But this isn't the only Unity events on that we should expose here. I'm also gonna need to test this out, by the way. So let's remove the tooltips. If the tooltips aren't needed, then it doesn't matter. Okay, so we have show trajectory. Where do we have to call that though, right? We have to call it. We have to call it invoke here. So This is where we can show our show trajectory start dot invoke. No. Yeah. What is it? What's our thing called? On show trajectory start. I think that's the general way of saying it. Okay, on show start. Wait a minute. Should I move it down there? Okay, so this is this happens with check for new projectile and check trajectory status. Interesting. But it doesn't happen. Where is this one happening? Oh. Okay, this is the actual bread and butter. Wait, is it? Maybe I've overcomplicated things. Okay, this is the bread and butter then. This is where we're actually creating it and ending it. So we're going to say on show trajectory start dot invoke here and not up here. This is just saying it can show the trajectory. And then show trajectory stop. This is where we will do the on show trajectory stop dot invoke right there. All right. Check for new projectile. This will be a good one to expose. Setting a new projectile. So this is we're going to do on new projectile selected. We'll do all those different things. And I think the order does matter, is my guess, because the event's going to be called and then other things happen. So I want to make sure that these happen first, I believe, and that we're actually setting the trajectory, the projectile before we call on projectile start. And I want to add, can we add parameters to the, events? Like, or is it the word arguments, not parameters? Because I do want to add one for this one, I think. Maybe the others too, actually. Unity event. Oh. What is this saying? Up to 4 generic arguments. Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll do that on this one. Okay. So a new projectile doesn't automatically start shooting. You're going to have to call that. Although this event could be used to make it automatically start if you wanted to do that. So we're going to do it at the very end here. And now we're going to add this little bit here. So This is going to be on new projectile selected event is a unit event, and we're going to pass in a 2 arguments. We're going to pass in our new projectile and our old projectile. So projectile. Yeah. And then we need to cache the old projectile here then. So var old projectile equals, wait a minute, -1, null, what? We have, oh, I guess it could equal -1, huh? Okay, that's smart. Good call out, AI. Yep, that's fine. And then new projectile equals projectile. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna pass in old or new, or new and old? New and old. Can we do null? Can we set that as null? I guess it would be the other way around, huh? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, new and old. New projectile. Yeah. Old projectile, and then we need to update something. Why isn't this working? Invoke param1, param2, parameter. Which should go with that on new projectile selected event, probably. Oh, we never do the start. Let's do in our start. On new projectile event. What am I missing here? Show trajectory. Oh. What was it? New projectile selected. What's going on here? Cannot convert source type projectiles that to target type events unity event. Why not? Oops. Wait a minute. I'm getting confused here. There's only 3 different things, but somehow I'm getting confused. All right, our first one is this. That seems right. Our second one is this, public. This event. That. Okay. And then that, and then in our start, it's working now. Okay, so let me move this up here, and then fix it down here so we don't have duplicates. All right, that appears to be working according to Ryder, if you can trust the shit. And now I believe we can do null coalescent. Yeah, okay. We just had the type wrong because of that second issue I had. All right, so I do want to do the same trajectory here. I want to pass the trajectory. I figure you could always call the spawner and get the trajectory, but you could also pass it, right? Does that matter? No. I don't think we need to pass that, actually. I'm changing my mind on that. All right, that shows up. That's good. Unity events. Oh, Wyman's going to be so proud of me. He's going to pat me on the back and say, "Good job, little man." That's what he's going to say to me. He says that to me all the time, even though I'm taller than he is. Just kidding. I'm not sad. All right, what other events do we want? Check for new projectile. Clear trajectory. Stop projectile. That sounds like a good one. Stop projectile and spawn projectile. And next spawn point. Let's do all of those. The first two, I don't want to provide any additional things. So I'm just going to do on spawn projectile and on stop projectile. And the other one, I do want to provide something new. And this is going to be on... what was it? Oh, next spawn point. Next spawn point selected. Or we're going to say on new spawn point selected. And we're going to pass in a... what are we going to pass in? That's a good question. Spawn... I think the spawn point is just... well, we can pass in the spawn point. There's an object. Spawn point is a spawn point. So we can just pass in that spawn point. And the spawn point has the transform and other stuff. So we'll pass in the spawn point. Okay. That makes me happy. On spawn point selected, pass in the spawn point. And a new event is going to be that. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I forgot event up there. Event. Okay. On new spawn point selected. Now we need to invoke these. All right, let's go back down. Let's see. Next spawn point, and we're going to say, ooh, thank you for that. I'm guessing this will do this too. Yes. And this, yes. All right. Next one is... ooh. What do we have here? On new projectile selected. Oh, do we have to do these on start too? Yes, I believe so. On spawn projectile. On stop projectile. Okay. Is this the right location for this? Check. It's probably not the right location for this. Check for new projectile. Okay, so the problem is set new, set projectile, set projectile. These two are where we need to do the actual set projectile. One of these should do the other. So I'm going to do... You know, Tech Dave, I am happy. Cheers to that. I'm gonna check my stats tomorrow and be like, cha-ching, baby, it's finally paying off. I'm going to Vegas. The problem with Vegas is it's expensive. Do you remember Vegas back in the day? This is, by the way, the second stream in a row, I think, where I'm talking about Vegas. I should stop. I haven't been to Las Vegas for a while. It's been 2017 was the last time I was in Las Vegas, and it was for a work trip. I barely gambled. All right, so this is where it happens, but here's the problem. We've got two different ways of saying the projectile. We need to bubble these up into one. I'm not doing that now. We set projectile index here. We set projectile index here. So instead, down here, we're going to say set projectile to I. That way, they both bubble up into this. This is the only way you actually set the projectile. And then we can do this and call that here. So var old projectile is going to be projectile, new projectile. We'll do it down here. Var new projectile equals projectile. So we'll put the notes here. Cache the old for the event and cache the new for the event. And then we get that. So now we need to remove this from the above one because... Oh, I already did? Okay, good. So now the other thing is the other one, check for new projectile. This needs to do the same thing. We should not be saying it here. Let's remove these two because we don't need those anymore. Oh, interesting. Why am I doing it like this? Clear the trajectory, stop the projectile, clear spawn. Okay. So I'm making it null in order to clear it, to have it recache the next time projectile is called. Hello, Rage Run Games. I hope you're not too angry tonight. In a rage. Why did I do it like this? I think I did like this because I just assumed show trajectory start is going to call projectile. So I think we need to just change it a little bit. So the projectile index, the current projectile index, and we only, do I even need this? Is this a wasted? We only do this in update, only in update. So we do this every frame. Why would we have the projectile index be different? All right, so clearing the trajectory. Next projectile, we increase it, but then we set it. So set projectile to that index. At start, we are just 0. I think we don't need this. I'm worried that we do, though. Or maybe it's just the structure of this is wrong. Okay, but we have... we have this debug message here. So let's see if it actually comes to fruition. Always happy. I like the AIs. The AIs are my friend. They help me out. All right. Setting a new projectile. So it does happen. It happens when we hit tab. All right. So when we hit tab, what happens? Demo controller. Next projectile key. We do next projectile. Next projectile. Okay. I see. Let me change the name of this method. Because I see. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So the what this is actually doing is check if a new projectile was selected. That's the more appropriate phrase here, because the button demo controller already set it. The projectile has been set. What this is doing is saying, hey, if one has been set, which means if the current index isn't the same or is the same as the last one, then great. This is just the cached projectile index. It's not really the last projectile index. How many times do we use it? Just 4 times. So yeah, so let's change this name to be cached projectile index. So if we don't equal our cache one, it means that we did set a new projectile. Not here. We're not doing it here. We somehow already did it. And then we're going to do the things like clear trajectory, stop projectile, clear spawn behavior. And then clearing that to have it recached. And then start this trajectory and set our thing. So I think all of these are more appropriately placed right here. So set up new projectile. We're going to move. Actually, yeah, can we just do it there? And then let's move it out of update. This is part of the refactoring process. Oh, I'm glad you like it. This is my first one. But that's misleading, because while it's my first projectile system, I've done many projectile systems that weren't real full systems because they weren't. And now I do systems. Say new projectile. Okay, so we're still calling it. So I think we're good, basically. We should be good. I'm going to change the name of it, though. So we removed it out of update. Check if. And I'm just going to move it down closer to the other methods that actually do stuff with it. And I'm going to move this one up. I sometimes like to have my methods ordered in some logical way. Yeah, so here we have a next projectile. In fact, sometimes I even like doing this. It knows. The AI knows. Projectile management. Now there's a whole section that you can more easily see. And we could even make that a little longer. Projectile management. So next projectile, set projectile, the real set projectile. Check if a new one was selected. That gets called from here. It does all this stuff. But we don't need to check. We don't need to do the cache anymore, because we know that a new projectile has been set. We can call that null. That's fine too. And then we're going to say new projectile logistics. We'll just call it that. Yeah. What is this saying? Toggle shows you without projectile. Do we need that? I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe it's helpful. I haven't thought about it, but okay. Sometimes the AI just gives you helpful tips. All right, so this should be good now. I'm not going to add. Yeah, I'll leave it there. No, I'm not going to. It's going to be misleading because I don't know if that's true. And then there's more stuff down here that does other stuff. But that's okay. We got this organized. We removed a thing. We also removed a few things up here. Wherever they may be. Cached projectile. Nope, we don't need that projectile index. We don't need this anymore. But we do use this everywhere. Okay. Well, that's good. All right, that was a good update. Everything, just double check that everything still works because I did just change a few more small things that shouldn't have broken anything, but that's when it does break stuff. All right. Interesting. So I'm saying here, I'm holding down the button. If I hit tab to change the projectile, it stops. Should it stop? Or should it keep going? It should stop. Should it keep going? Maybe it should keep going. Let's see. Where would we do that? Next projectile. Well, we could actually make use of this event now. We could cache the value of is shooting, or we can say if. Okay, so we're gonna do next projectile, and then. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Yes. Public virtual void on what was it called? What was the event called? The event on the actor is called on new projectile selected. So we're gonna create an event. This is a good dog food. On new projectile selected. If input.getKey shoot key, then we will start shooting. All right, because by default it will stop shooting every time a new projectile is selected. So we're gonna move this to start shooting, and make start shooting look like this. And make that a nope expression body. So now we're basically going to say on this thing we're going to start shooting if our key is still down. So it should work, I think. But now we need to assign it to this. So we need to go here, bring in our demo controller, and demo controller on new projectile We don't need the projectile. We don't need, whoops. We don't need that. Okay. So my controller on new. There we go. We're going to save. Press play. Now, it didn't work. Let's see. Did we? Oh, we didn't do the invoke. That's right. I got sidetracked. I was going to do the invokes, but then I got sidetracked. So we didn't do the evokes. Invokes. Evokes. Invokes. Invokes. Dot invoke. These are the invokes. We need to do something like this. Okay, so set projectile, new projectile logistics. Oh, we did. On new one, select. Oh, but do we have to pass these two? Is that what we have to do? Wait a minute. How does this work? In this Unity event, my demo controller suddenly isn't even showing it. Why isn't it showing it? This on new projectile selected. Demo controller. So demo controller is not showing up because there's two parameters. This can only take things that have 0 or 1 parameter, but how do I pass this through? Let's ask the AI. Okay, facing a problem. I have this. Both of those arguments are type projectile. I'd like, how do I set up a method on another script that will be added to the Unity event in the inspector and have it get those values automatically? I thought that's what I did. Is that not what I did? Can it not be virtual? Cannot say on new projectile selected, maybe? Maybe it can't say that. Maybe that's why. Oh yeah, look at that. When I say on, it suddenly does something different. Maybe that's like a special keyword. Nope, now it's not showing up again. Oh, that's new spawn point. Maybe that was the issue. Maybe it was a human error. Oh, yeah, there it is. That's what I was expecting to happen. Now I'll pass those through. Oh, that's interesting. I always wondered how those worked, and I never looked into it. All right, now let's try it. Let me save first. All right, now let's try after saving. All right, holding down the button. Holding down the button didn't do anything. Okay, let's see if a debug log helps us figure it out. Debug.log. Demo controller new projectile selected. And debug.log. Start shooting again. All right. Well, this could be exciting, but it's good to learn how this shit works. Start shooting again. It did call it, but it didn't do the thing. Player spawn projectile. Debug.log. Projectile object is null. Otherwise, it should do all its other stuff. Debug.log should spawn. All right. We'll leave it there. Just want to see what happens. Should spawn. All right. Didn't spawn. Should spawn, but didn't spawn. Interesting. Create spawn behavior instance. If it's not null, then return. Debug.log instance was, yeah, so my guess here is that it's not clear. Is that it hasn't cleared out the existing stuff by the time I call this. Yeah, there you go. So so if we dig into the code, it's an order of operations issue here, I believe. So when we do our tab of change projectile, we say next projectile. We do all this stuff. We do the set projectile, and then we do the logistics. But we call the event before we do the logistics. Let's call the event after we do the logistics, after we set null. And we'll say new projectile and old projectile. And we will put these here. New projectile, old projectile, copy paste, and then we should be good. So this whole clearing and stopping, that's what we need to call first. I believe it's just an order of operations thing. Let's find out. It is indeed. Now, if I just hold this down as I go through each one, it just starts it immediately. So this is a great example of how to use the events to automatically start it again. No matter what your script is that you start and stop things with, there you go. All right. That's neat. We got some events actually working. Now I'm going to have to remember to set that up in all the other demo scenes. But that's okay, because that's pretty cool. Look, I started saying sitting up tall, and now my microphone's too low. I shouldn't slouch anyway, so I should always be sitting up this tall. And my eyes are at the right level. In fact, at this height, my screen's almost too low. Because I usually slouch like this. And that's not good. I need to sit up tall and straight. All right. Good. So how many invokes do I have? Did I invoke the other ones? Trajectory, projectile, stop. Oh, I did. Okay. Okay. Do we need any other events on this one? Oops, wrong button. All right. We got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's go down the list of methods. Set projectile, new projectile, logistics. I believe that's it. Yep. So those are all the events on that. Successfully added. Good. Now though, before I forget, I'm gonna go through all the other demo scenes. Projectile, factory, demo. I'm gonna rename these two so I can easily search for them, and we're gonna set up these on all of the actors. Well, not on this one, because this one's a different kind of scene, actually. So I lied about all of them. We got that one. These 3. Actor. We knew on new projectile selected. Our demo controller. New projectile selected. Save. And this one. I like really long, robust names that are very clear. Actor on new projectile selected. Demo controller. All right. And then Forge 3D. Sci-fi effects. New projectile selected. Yes. Demo controller. New projectile selected. Save. Let's see if it works here too. Just to make sure. Boom, 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 boom. It's working. I'm in a pod racer and it's working. Is it called a pod racer? Is that what those are called? That's nice. I don't have to take my finger off the button now. Nice. Nice dice. Alright, good. I'm done. Not with the whole stream. But I'm done with all that testing because it seems to work. So I'm happy. We take out these debugs. Take out that debug. Take out those brackets. All right. All right. Next thing. What do we do on the next one? Now, Rage Run. A lot of the wow factor is not mine. These are projectiles from, or particles rather, from other publishers. I'm just integrating their stuff with this system so that it's very easy to, 1, demonstrate it, and 2, for people who have both, just kind of start using it because the projectiles are all set up here. So if you like these, you can just start using them on your characters. Excellent. Now, what other things do we need to set up? I'm going to move to another... Oh, wait. No, there's one other demo scene I forgot about. It's the basic boring one. This one. See? Boring. This is the basic one. That's why. It doesn't have all the pretty projectiles. It's demo player on new one selected. Demo controller. New projectile selected. Save it. All right. My phone just vibrated at me. It's my friend. And also apparently my brother. And my mom. And a new device joined the internet. And that's fun. All right. All right. So where else do we throw in? Let's go to the nicer scene. A basic. All right. So now I can search for this demo scenes. And I want to go to the... Am I missing one? Missing the Forge 3D one. Did I not rename the Forge 3D one? I didn't. All right. All right. The Arcanor ones. I'm going to go to this one. I think this is my favorite one. And let's look at a projectile inside this package. Actually, let's look at... Okay. All right. So we have our projectile itself. This is the bread and butter of the thing. This is the thing that moves around. This is the thing that flies. This is the actual... Hello, Chris. If your knees are lower than your hips, you will naturally sit more straight. So if you sit on a pillow to elevate your hips... Yes, but... Okay. But what if the pillow makes your spine weird? Right? So I'm saying on this $1,500 chair or something, $1,400 chair that luckily the company paid for most of when COVID started. I bought it because my chair at the time was getting... It was a cheap chair. It was very comfortable at the beginning, but then it got loose and it was getting wobbly, and my back was actually really killing me, so it was really bad. And so this chair, it's an Aeron bar height chair. I think they're like $1,400 or something, or they were then. Probably more now. The company paid for $1,200 of it, and I spent the rest, or maybe $1,000. I forget what kind of budget we had. Some people bought coffee machines, like fancy ones. Yeah, it's nice though, right? The thing is, okay, I got the bar hat. I like the tall ones. I like tall chairs. This desk is tall. Like here, I'll stand up. See, I'm 6 feet tall, so this is pretty high. I like the tall chairs. I could tilt this forward, I guess. It probably has a tilt forward thing, but anyways, but the chair is very comfortable, and I spend my life in this chair. Like I sat down in this chair around 8:15 today. After the game dev show, I did get up for a little bit and I ate some food, and I probably had a long lunch. Usually I don't have a long lunch. Today I had a long lunch. I was watching or listening to a YouTube thing on the history of Iran during while my wings were being air fried, and I ate those. And then I sat back down in it, and I worked from like 12:30, something like that, through 3:30 or 4. Then I took a nap, and then I sat back down in it, and that's all I've been doing all day. I've been sitting in this chair. I sat down in a couch the other day, and I thought, I haven't sat in this couch in months. I have 3 couches for some reason. I actually have 2 couches for my living room that was meant to be for people to sit in. And we have sat in, and there's one I sat in the most because it's where I sit when I watch TV. And the cushion is obviously, it's been just a year, and the cushion, or less than a year still, and the cushion's obviously been the one that gets sat in. But I have a third one because I have this rental thing, and it was furnished, and then the lady who rented it didn't want it furnished, so now I've got a third couch. Anyways, I never sit in these couches. But I did yesterday, and I thought, I never sit in this couch. That whole room could just be one chair, one comfortable chair, and that would suffice, except for when I have parties. People sit in them when I have parties, but I don't have parties very often. Anyways, those are my stories. Okay, so this is the projectile. We're going to have to add some events here, and then I'm going to have to learn how to expose them in the inspector, in my custom inspector. I'm thinking out loud. Oh, no, I'm not thinking out loud. I'm thinking quietly. So the thing is, Oh my gosh, I watch YouTube, but I can't watch it while getting work done. I can't do that. I cannot watch YouTube and work. I can't listen to music that has words and work. Doesn't work. I can barely do this. Actually, as you can tell, I can't work while also talking to you. All right, so there's two aspects to this here. There is the projectile itself, which is all the data when these are closed, essentially. It has all the behaviors, the various options, spawn modification behavior, and the spawn behavior itself, and of course the projectile data. Those are the things on the projectile that make it do its thing. There are life cycle events here that we need to expose. But there's also the data on each of these scriptable objects. Now, currently, none of these have... These are just their own scriptable objects. They're a different class. When you edit it here, you're actually editing the other object. None of these have events on them. Nor do I think should they, maybe. They might. I can't... I'm trying to, like, think of why I would have an event on the behavior itself. I think all the events would live on the projectile. Is there a reason to have an event? Like impact, right? The impact happens. We can dig into the script. Not this one. What am I doing? What did I look at? I need a back button. Bullet blue. This is what I should have put down. So the impact happens through a normal event. Collision enter. Or trigger enter in this case. Wait a minute. I just read please wear clothes and now don't expose yourself. Oh. What's up, Story? We got some Unity events working now. Yeah, so I don't think I need events on the behaviors themselves. They're actually receivers of events. I think we're just going to put them back on the projectile itself. Yeah, so let's look at that first. Projectile. Boo. All right. So these. Where's all these events? These events. These are the events. Nope. Is there a reason to use a Unity event instead of this versus next to this? Like, would my other things subscribe to the Unity event the same as they're subscribing to this event? I'll ask the AI and see if the AI can answer before any of you can answer. I also have these events. If I make these a Unity event instead, would my other classes which subscribe to these subscribe to the Unity events just the same? Story was faster. Is the speed difference something that matters for something like this? It's spitting out a lot of events, like multiple per frame, but not per frame, but per second. Okay, so I'll have to refactor a little bit. Oh, listeners, I see. Okay. So it sounds like I should keep them separate. Like it's just a little bit better to... No? What would you suggest I do then, Story? Would you suggest I convert them or keep them separate? And everybody else, what do you think? That's what I was thinking too, Chris. I know you wrote that before you probably heard the question. Um, you just were time traveler, so you answered before I asked the question. Um, that's why I was thinking too. Like if you're making the script, use the regular events. If you're just doing something that hooks into it, use the Unity event. Okay. Thank you, the facade. Welcome to the stream, by the way. This is the facade's very first time joining the stream. So everyone give the facade a very warm welcome. Use Unity events because it's easier for the non-coders and the default handlers are fine. Though personally I use strategy pattern for that kind of thing. Well, now you run into my knowledge gap where I can never remember which pattern is which. I need flashcards. You know, in junior high and high school, I decided to stop studying because I thought it was a waste of time. And I do agree that it's probably a waste of time. But the real reason I stopped studying is just I didn't want to pay attention at school. I just wasn't into that. Smart guy, not liking school. And I do think studying is kind of silly. If you have to study to pass the test, then did you really pass the test? So it's better, I think, to take the test without studying to find out what you really know and then figure out what you need to learn after that. But that's not how the education system in the US works. And so, anyways, and now I don't remember things like what the strategy pattern is, but that's okay. But I am making an editor plugin. Could do both. Is there a reason not to do both? I mean, if nothing's being called, then they're not slow, right? And when we're talking about speed, we're talking about when it's actually activated. Just calling the event isn't slowing it down. It's only when it does something, when things are subscribed to it. Now, a lot of things are subscribed to these built-in ones through the behaviors. So if that's the case, we should keep the behaviors and keep it as speedy as possible because we know those are going to be called very often. The in-editor ones are really just relatively rare, I would think. I mean, I don't know how people are going to use it, but it's up to them to use it, and by default, it's relatively rare. So, okay, so we'll do both. Too long didn't read, but now you're making me read, huh? I'd use Unity events for exposed in editor as a friendly hook for your own scripts. Yep. Interface are faster than events. Wait. Functions are faster than events, so I use an interface with the method name for the ... keeping us in suspense. Events and pass in the class as a strategy. So instead of each event, it calls the methods on the passed in class. It's faster and allows the freedom of custom coding details. Interesting. Interesting. I think I'm about 35% following this. Let me reread it. I'd use the... Okay, so we're talking about not using... Not using these events and instead using an interface with method names for the events and pass in the class as a strategy. So in my head, you have an interface. Some confusion there, but that's okay. And then you pass in the method name or you pass in a what was the term? Pass in the class as a strategy, i.e., hey, when this happens, call this class. Okay, and then he's saying, so, one Unity events for the normal people. For your cases, you rarely want one event. You would have, oh, maybe you're saying you really, rarely or really want one event. One enter, you would have an interface with enter, exit, stay. If someone really wanted to do a custom implementation and really handle code the easy way, they can write an entire custom handler that passes tiers. I see. Okay. I have done handlers. I just bit my tongue. Handlers a little bit before, based on your suggestion story, actually. I think what I'm going to do for now is add Unity events. Keep these the way they are, but add Unity events, and perhaps a V2 will change things. Message from my mom. Can you set my nest to just heat? For some reason, it's not showing. It is showing heat and cool, and I do not want cool. From my mom. Let's see. Nest. I haven't used. Hopefully it connects. I have to sign in with Google. Let me see if I can remember her. Oh no, not sign with Nest. All right. Oh, did I save it? Oh, I saved it. I was so smart last time she asked me to do something like this that I saved the password. Oh no. Okay. Can you check your email for a code from Nest, please? Nest is asking for a code now. Will she reply anytime soon? Oh, she's replying. My mom's 81 years old, but she's still got her noggin, which is good because I think I take after her, and I want my noggin when I'm 150. That's why I wear a bike helmet. The interfaces are deep. That is definitely true. I would put that as more like... Uh-oh, my mom's calling. 1 second. She was trying to log in with that code. So I had to clarify that I just want her to give me the code. 052389 is the code. Don't allow, don't allow. Done. Oh my gosh. All right. Entryway. Mode. Heat only. All right. It should be set to that now. Should be heat only now. So cool technology, right? I mean, back in the day, right? You would, did I age myself? Probably. Cool technology, because back in the day, You couldn't do that. Now you can. That's nice. That's nice. What'd she say? Thanks, heart, 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 heart. Aw. Look at all them hearts. All right. Yeah, so I was the interface stuff I think is the master coder level, or maybe not master, maybe expert. But so let's just add Unity events for all of these. I'm gonna move all of these up as well into a section. That way the AI will come into play. We're gonna move them underneath all of our other things. Underneath this. All right. So where else are our public events and delegates? We'll organize it afterwards. Do you all have preferred ways of organizing things like that? Originally, these were organized with the handlers on top of everything, and now it's not just those. So we need a special handler when there's arguments to be passed. We don't need them when there's no arguments to be passed, I guess. All right, let's see if the AI can just help me here. Great, I have these. Can you please write Unity Unity events for these? We are not replacing these. We are adding new events of type Unity events in addition to these. So they should, yeah. All right, let's see if it just does it for me. Thank you for doing it for me. Copy the right thing. All right. Yes, we need that. And we need to add the invokes. Okay, good call out. Good call out, AI. Thanks for the reminder. Start. Do we have a start? We don't have a start method. Okay. Protected void virtual void start. Okay. Did these get named on so on launch Unity? What? Is it because I have on launch already used and it didn't know what to name it? Yeah. Oh, I see. Well, what should I name them? What if I rename this to be launch launch. Just launch. Can I rename it to be launch? Okay, cancel. So launch projectile. Projectile. And then this will all be on launch. On launch projectile. On trigger enter. Oh. We already have on trigger enter. Where do we do on trigger enter? It's the method on trigger enter. What gets exposed in the editor? Oops. It's used here. Let's draw the default inspector. So that name gets exposed. So we want it to be something nice and easy to read. So do I rename the methods down here instead? I could rename these to be do. I use do destroy. Do get from pool. Is that an appropriate way? Do return to pool. Do launch. Just launch. I think launch might be okay for this one. Do collision enter. Do collision exit. Whoops, not O collision exit. Do. 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 Do-do. A doo-doo. How'd the word doo-doo ever come to be anyways? But the AI knows that. I'm not going to ask. Okay. Did we change all those appropriately? So now we can say on our Unity events, do launch, do trigger enter. No, on trigger enter. Shoot. On launch. On trigger exit. On trigger stay. On return to poop. Didn't change it twice. Formerly serialized as on get from pool. On collision enter. Doing this project, by the way, has helped me learn how to spell collision. I still misspell it often, but not nearly all the time. Before, I was misspelling it every time. Now I only misspell it like 60% of the time. So I'm going to change these actually. Instead of on destroy, which is a, we're going to do on do. Because on destroy is already an event, right? And I want to make sure it's a little bit clear that this is like not that. It doesn't get called when this is destroyed. It gets called when do destroyed is called, which is a completely different thing. Not completely. It's related, but it's not the same thing. Now just remove these. I could have had the AI do all of that for you too, probably. All right. All right, now we just need to invoke them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 things. Okay. We should do a reset projectile too. Should we? Yeah, we should do a reset. Public projectile event on reset. On reset dot invoke. What are we missing? Do we have multiple on resets that I don't know about? What do I need to put in the invoke? This? But there's no arguments in this one. Wait a minute. Great, I added this too. How do now how do I invoke this again? There's no. Oh, I didn't do this. Maybe that's why. Oops. On reset. Oh. Yeah, okay, I do need to pass the projectile. I see. Okay. Got it. Yes, I am passing parameters in. So yes, okay, projectile. But yes, I also need to do that right there. This. There we go. Most of these are that, I think. Reset. Unsubscribe from events. Even more things. Set spawner. Ooh. Do we need this as well when we change the spawner? Probably, because you could want a situation where you want to change who owns the thing, change the spawner, like do the matrix, collect all the bullets, become the owner of that, and then spit them back. So we're going to need a new one of these public. Nope, not this one. This one. System.serializable. Public class. Projectile spawner event. Unity event. Projectile spawner and projectile. And we're going to put that down here. Public projectile spawner event on new on projectile spawner set. And then in our code for that, set projectile spawner. Invoke the value of the new spawner and this, saying, hey, this has been is now attached to a new spawner. So now you can do the matrix. And that's important. Everyone needs to be able to do the matrix. Do we use this? We never use this. I'm going to zombie code this. We don't use look at because the behaviors should handle that. On launch, invoke this. Oh, we need the return to pools. Do we not have that? On return. Yeah, we do. Invoke this. On get from pool. On collision, enter. Invoke projectile this, collision null, object hit, point of contact. On collision, enter, same thing, but this time it's not default. Because with this one we don't have a point of contact. Or should we? Collision dot point. Do we not have a point of contact with collisions? Var point of contact equals. Yes we do. Point of contact. And we should do that here too. That was a missed opportunity. Collision exit. On collision exit. Invoke. See ya, Tech Dave 99. You have a good night. I hope you're going out to do something fun. By the way, last night I watched 4 episodes at my friend's house of 3 Body Problem. I had a 4-episode problem, and I woke up tired. That was the problem. Wow, they made a snowman. My friends... I was going to go to the snow, and my friends made a snowman. I didn't go to the snow, though, because I had work to do, and I was very bummed about that, because that's a lot of snow. And it's not going to last. This is the end of it, right? But I don't really like snow. I like it for like a day. Not even a day. I like it for a few hours. It would have been perfect. Man. Glad it was nice. And I live close to the snow. That's the thing. I don't know whose kid this is, but check this out. Ha. That's funny. Anyways, that's funny. Yeah, so I wish I could have gone, but I had work to do, unfortunately, because GDC was so busy that then I get back and I have a billion Slacks and a billion emails. I still haven't gotten through everything I need to get done. But because Europe and Canada have religious holidays today and Monday, I got a lot more work done than I would have otherwise. All right. Next one, on collision stay. Invoke. But this should also get the point of contact. And so should this. All right. Yeah. Trigger. This has a point of contact too. Closest point on bounds. I didn't know about that. Whoops. On trigger. Interesting. I did not know that was a thing. Invoke destroy. Undo destroy. On disable. Undo disable. Okay. And then we need to add projectile stopped. That's an important one. What's going on up here? Uh-oh. 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 Launch. These. Which one is wrong? Let's find out. Null, null, 2. 1. 1. Oh, look at. Multi-shot projectile. Do I use multi-shot projectile anywhere? I don't think I use this. Do you know why? Because this is early and I changed it to a behavior. So I'm just going to comment it all out, and if I get tons of errors, well, I guess I'm going to have to do this. Then nothing. Alright. I can launch. Doesn't need look at anymore. Okay. And do we get errors? Probably some random errors. All part of the process, the healing process of refactoring. Alright. What was the thing I wanted to add? It was the projectile stopped. That's an important one. It should be right under like that. Public projectile event on projectile stopped. Add it there. And add all the way down here. All right. Now, because I'm doing this fancy pants custom inspector, make sure these all look nice. All these exist. A whole slew of different Unity events to hook into. Now we need to expose these not in the... Like, it's fine to do the custom inspector, but we need to expose them in the... Or the default inspector. We need to expose them here. The problem I'm facing now is there's a lot of tabs. If I add another tab, then this window has to... Oh, and I realize this window is probably too wide for the stream this whole time. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. All right. This window is already narrow. It has to be wide. And so I think I'm going to have to do 2 rows of buttons, but I don't like that. I could combine spawn behavior and modifications together, but I like that they're separate. Because they are separate things. I mean, they're related, right? The spawn behavior you have to have. Spawn behavior modifications are optional. They're the same thing, but they're different. I could put this under required. So data and spawn behavior, or just required settings. Or I could put these on top and put all the other optional things below. These are pretty narrow when they're not expanded. And they are required. Okay, let me try putting them on top and see how I like the look of that. And then we'll go from there. So this is going to be the projectile editor. Projectile editor. It's actually the basic projectile editor. The basic bitch projectile editor. It's slowly been getting dark outside. I'm asking my friend if we're watching Three Body Problem tonight because there's only 4 more episodes. So maybe. All right, so instead of doing these in the toolbar, let's try putting them up here. We might have to add some headers and stuff, but that's fine. We can add that later. And then I'm going to make a copy of this just in case I want to revert easily. And instead of these, we're going to put those first. And then we'll put here Unity, or just call it events. So those don't need to be changed because they're just, we can leave them there for now. And then we can do the here, and events, and draw events. All right. Private void, draw events. See if the AI can help us here. Draw inspectors for these events. And now, let's see. Does the AI know that? Start vertical box. Events. Oh boy. Oh boy. It's making it for me. Alright, well, it's not doing a very good job at this point, but that's okay. I mean, it's doing a fine job. Oh, no. No, it's fucked up now. Alright. It's not doing it for me. It started doing it for me. Let's see how it started. First of all, I want to make sure I do the end vertical box because if I don't, it's just going to be an issue. I don't think I actually need the box either. Events. Nope. That's not it. All right. So I'm using my own custom editor script stuff. But I don't have one for events. So let's just do the structure of it first. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have any headers. Just drawing the events. I'm going to need some more UI up here to separate all that out. Okay. It's still showing. Whoops. It's still showing the wrong thing. Why is it showing the wrong thing? That's weird. Oh. Oh. I see. What did I do? Okay, so I guess I do need these to be X'd out. Down to here. There we go. Those convert to integers. They don't actually use the name. They convert to integers. And now it's not. Nope. It's still not working. I confused myself. So these should be integers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 0, 1, 2, 3 specifically. Yeah, it passes back an int. Return selected. Editor pref string projectile toolbar. If the int equals 0, let's just do a debug log. Debug.log. Int is that. It should be right, but it doesn't appear to be. Int is 0. Well, they're printing out the right things, but it's not showing the right things. All right. Menu options. Oh, there we go. I should put the menu options down there. Yeah, you know what we should do? Yeah, why didn't I do that? Probably because I didn't go back and refactor earlier. Oh, but now I got go. Yeah, all right. This is the point at which I'm starting to get tired. No projectile data, no spawn behavior, and no of that. Behavior options and events. There we go. I don't think it saves properly. We'll clean this up after, by the way. No, still 5 things? That's not right. Menu options, 4 things. Draw with menu options, 4 things. Why is it still showing 5 things then? Huh. There are 5 things. There are how many spoons? There are 4 spoons? There are 4 spoons? Or is there are 3 spoons? There are 4 spoons. Picard. Is it 5 spoons? Spoons. Is it spoons? There are 4 lights. There are 4 things. So I'm basically, what I'm saying is I'm Picard right now. Because it's saying there are 5 things. I'm like, no, there are 4 things. Menu options. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Is this not getting updated? Should it be constant then? There are 4 things. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't being updated. That was very strange. Not sure why it wasn't being updated. All right. So now we got the 4 things. Spawn modifications are working. Behaviors are working. Events, empty. Options are there. All right. So let me clean up this top thing because I think this does work, but whoop, wrong button. I want to make that prettier. And I also want to add a show help boxes button somewhere. Another title. Projectile header is going to be the header too, but I want link to docs, start row, end row. Whoops. And then we'll add a flexible space in the middle, and then left check set bool is going to be bool name is going to be projectile editor show help, and then the label will be show help boxes. And I think that sets it automatically. Let's see if it frames it right. Yeah, all right. So, and then we just need to make sure our such as show help box. So we can change this to set bool to this. All right. And then does that work? There we go. So now we can turn on and off the help boxes just by doing this. Which, once you know what you're doing, you don't need those. All right, then let's do the spaces between those. We'll do a gray line and a gray line. See how that looks between these, just to separate them out. There you go. Now you got projectile data separated out from spawn behavior, but they're both turning on. Why are they both turning on? They shouldn't both be turning on. Exposed fields key equals show projectile data exposed fields. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I had a bug. Show spawn behavior exposed fields. There we go. So now you can show those separately. They're separated out. It looks more clean. And now we have spawn modifications, behaviors, events, and optional. Now let's draw some events. Events. Draw events. Draw a... I'm just going to ask. I have this code. How can I draw a event box in the inspector? I should clarify that's a custom inspector. Custom. Okay, good. it's giving that to me. My script example, true event with a button. Oh, I want this to be part of my custom inspector. I only want to expose one event at a time. Property field. Okay. Really? Are we gonna do all this? And that? Alright, let's see. Let's see if this is what it needs to do. Oh, okay. Let's let the AI do its thing and we'll do them all. Alright. And then on enable. Do we have an on enable already? On enable. Nope. Let's just do that then. Okay. Okay. And then on our ensue, we do our serialized object update. Really? Well, we could probably do that down here. I would think. And then draw this specific. This won't show the other events. And applied, modified properties. All right. We do actually want to show them all, but I was just trying to tell me one, figuring I could then do the rest. Or in this case, the AI could do the rest. This really does make it easier just to do that. It's a lot easier than copy pasting. All right, let's see how it looks. Does it work? Ooh, it does. Events. Now, the other thing that I can do here. Let's just test something. We're going to save it. Quit. I just want to make sure it saves, because that's always one of the biggest hurdles, is actually getting it to save sometimes. So the old test is set it and quit it and bring it back up and see if it worked. So we're doing the projectile blue, bullet blue, and it worked. All right, good. So this is a big list. We can collapse this a little bit by, ironically, adding more to it, but that collapses it. So we can do show property or show event box, and this is going to be on launch property. Can we convert that to a thing? Really? Toggle the script on and off to force a save? I didn't know that. My thing was just to make sure it saves after I'd make a change, because in the past I've had issues where I didn't set up undos properly. Not undos, but just the saving properly, and it was always a pain in my butt. It was a hassle. So I always get concerned about that. So no, I guess we're going to do a left check set bool again here, and we're going to do bool name is going to be that, label is going to be on launch, whoops, on launch, and then if Get bool. That. Damn it. Does this return something? Damn it. If that, then something. It doesn't return. Maybe we should make it return. This means I'm going to have to update my other stuff. This is the Infinity editor. If I have a tendency to make changes and then forget to update the rest. So I'm going to need to remember to update the other ones. I just did this the other day. I updated the common files, the support files. There we go. So now we can say if that, then this. So we'll do that to all of these. Whoops. Look, I'm doing the AI's work now, but I'm just much slower. All right, let's see if it works. Really? Odin's horrific? I would like to use Odin. Everyone talks about it. On launch. Shit. They all say on launch. But they're not on all launch. On projectile stopped. On trigger enter. Exit. Do destroy. All right. Then I want to reorder these on launch and on projectile. Stopped makes sense on the top. I'm also going to move these up. Then I'm going to put the collision above the trigger. And then we will do those at the bottom and this at the very bottom. Okay. See if that works. AI toolkit. You're ahead of the curve on that one, the Visad. Am I saying the Visad correctly? You're ahead of the curve on that one because I don't know how to use it. Nobody seems to know how to use it except for you. All right, so is this a little bit easier that you have to click these? It's adding one friction point, which is a click, but it also keeps it from being like and should I do this button instead? It's the same thing in the end. It's just a check versus my common eyeball. I think because we're doing such a list, the check is fine. It doesn't, but the thing is, it doesn't, like, if you turn that off, it doesn't actually turn it off. But this implies that it's turned on and off. So maybe I should switch it to the eyeball. Right? It's going to be button open, close. Now I'm going to have to change everything. Left check. Okay, we can make a version of this that has a label, I think. Let's do this. Add new version. We'll add a string label. And label. Label. Let's see if that works. Oh, but then we need that shoot. Okay, wait, no. It's just in here. Start row. And put the label at the end. End row. There we go. There we go. That's going to be a little bit more clear, I think. And luckily, I just have to change this now. Everything else will just work. So that's a little easier too. Button open close with the label. I didn't have that before. Now I do. The facade is certainly perfectly said. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. All right. That I think is logically more clear, that you're not actually turning the events on and off, that you're just viewing them, because now we need to put the number of events. Can we get how in this editor script, how can I capture the number of events or number of things attached to the event? I'm not sure the right word to use for that. Hopefully you don't know. Oh, what did my friend say? She said, okay. I'll come over after this stream ends. So that means the facade. I won't get to your stuff again tonight. I'm doing a project with facade. We're talking about some stuff, some very interesting stuff that I think is very exciting, that I'm excited about. I've been talking it up with my friend Jason Wyman earlier today because I think it's pretty snazzy. But also I'm going to finish watching 4 hours of that show tonight. So probably either late at night or tomorrow morning I'll get to it, if that's okay. All right, so what does it say? Wow, we have to use all this stuff. What is this? Whoa. All right, we're going to have to do... Do I want to do this now? I'll tell you why. Because this is a lot of things, and I don't think I can put this into a twist, huh? You've got two more episodes. You said, right? Um, so ideally I would put this into one thing. Um, so let me ask the AI something first. Let's ask a different AI. We're gonna ask this one. In this code, it's my custom editor. I want to create a method that handles this kind of thing, so I can just call draw event box on get from pool property on get from pool. Is that possible? It's definitely possible, it says. I'm just not sure how to convert this into this value here. It's giving me all sorts of stuff here. This is the meat of it. So let's see if I can just put this in here and see what it does. Oh, find property. Interesting. So we do that up here. Does this have to be on enable, or can it be down here? I'm not sure. Here's the full method I have now. Would that draw event box work with this? I do all the find property in on enable now, but I can switch that to be in the find, we're in the draw event box if that works. Oh, I could do that. That's interesting. This is what it's teaching me. I think I get it now. All right, so we do that. Good. It gave me a warning. I already have one of these. I would do message box, but that's okay. 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 This is nice. This is nice. Cleaner. Look at that. Cleaner. And then, if this works, I think it will. Okay. Now it will be a lot easier to implement this code. And we will put that here. Get value where its Unity event's supposed to be. Let's see. Great, thanks. Now I want to add this code to the draw event box. So I'm just going to have the AI tell me how to fix that. Sometimes it actually gives you an improved version too. But perfect. Oh, it's putting it inside the button. Open, close. Oh yeah, that makes sense to do it in the button. That you only do it if you're actually showing it. Duh. All right, so we can reduce nesting here by inverting that. Reduce nesting here by inverting this. So we'll return there if we don't do anything. Otherwise, we'll do this, and we will do... Oh, I want that up here. Draw event box, label. Wait a minute. Where do we do the label? Did we not use the label? We use the label right here. So we do want this above that. And look, we have 2 property fields now. Okay. We do want this. Get the count of the events. All right, there we go. It's going to be label. Whoops. Count. Return. No double returns. Okay. There we go. Let's see if that works. There we are. So now if we add a new launch, we'll do that. Perfect. I wonder if we can have an error if this is... That would be neat. Let's see. Great. Can I set a bool true or false if the game object in the event field is null? Yes. I could have just tried to figure that out myself, but I like it when the AI just tells me stuff. Expand the previous draw box to include that logic. If Unity event... No. Target field. Okay, target field. Okay, how about this? Get the count of the calls where target field is null. We're going to use link for this, I bet. Okay, calls list dot where x at target field. Can we do that? Nope. There we go. We're not removing it. Count. We're just doing to count. There we go. Is that not right? Can I do something like this? All right. Calls list of type object count. There. All right, then we're going to say if button open close property name Oh, I know what we'll do. Var label equals label count. And then we'll just add that label down here. We'll say we call this button label. Undo, undo, undo. Button label. Button label. All right. So if we button label, but then in here we're going to say count, and then if that equals that, there you go. You already know what I'm doing. Symbol warning, I think. Symbol info. What is my symbol for warning here? I have one. I thought I had one at least. Ah, symbol important. There we go. And we're also going to do color equals red. Wrong one. Wrong one again. All right, is this helpful? It's not saying it though. Why isn't it saying it? Okay, let's give it our updated code. Sometimes you have to give it the updated code. The AI, just to clear it out or something. Here's the updated code. It doesn't appear that my red warning important text is showing, even though the game object field is null. Oh yes, rich text. Thank you for that. So in our button open close, we're just gonna make this rich text. Label true. I think it is. No. How do we do rich text? Which one's rich text? I don't have one that's just rich text. Okay, we'll make one. Oh, we can just make this another label that just has word wrap and rich text. Nope, we can't. Because there's conflicts. It's gonna, yeah, okay, because of the default values. So in this one, we just want to be, just make that. There we go. Yeah, that's it. And we'll do this in a different way. Okay. Okay. Go back. Here we go. Label rich text. There we go. Uh-oh. Still didn't work, but now the color's all off. Why is the color all off? Was there more to it that I missed? Yeah, it doesn't know what I'm doing really. Color/color button label button open close does rich text label. Huh. Is it because no? Let's make sure we're doing this right. Just add in a couple exclamations. It's not even registering that those are. All right, let's abandon this. We don't really need that. Let me actually ask the other AI real quick. Another AI. Sometimes it's good to ask a different AI. I don't think this is capturing the event things that have a null game object. Have the instance and calls list where non-public instance field name target is null. I don't know what target is. Yeah. All right. Get value. In a Unity event, the box comes up with the runtime only option plus the method pop-up plus a game object field. What's the correct way to know if the game object field is empty? I can't. That's not what I want. All right, I'm going to abandon that. Abandon the idea. We'll zombie code it in case I wake up tomorrow and have a brilliant idea. But for now, this works. Still good enough. Because now when this is closed, you can still see that there's something there. And you know what we could do is make it bold if the count is more than 0. Or something. What would we do? It doesn't matter. Nah, that's I'm over engineering it. I think this is fine. All right. So this is good. I think this is a good addition here. We have our events. We have our spawn modifications. The events should be all firing off. So I believe we're done saying events. I need to test some of these just to see how they work. And in fact, I might actually... So right now, I have the... data has the damage, I might shift the damage to be event-based as a demonstration and to make it more clear. Also, that way, we remove the damage from this projectile data. Projectile data really only needs speed right now, but there are, if you make your own projectiles, you might want more stuff in there or something. But damage could easily be moved out, I think. So I'm going to try to do that tomorrow, I suppose. But for now, I'm going to go to my friend's house. Now, here's the big thing. I haven't had any dinner yet. I'm not hungry yet. And the question is, should I just eat chips at her house? Or should I actually eat some healthy food and not eat chips at her house? But I'm going to be watching TV for 4 hours, and I'm going to be drinking a old-fashioned. So I probably should just eat chips like a normal human, right? Like a normal human. All right, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I think a lot got done here. We successfully got events done and into the inspector. So now you've got the events that get called that you can create with behaviors. So you can create behaviors with events. And you can hook up any other object to the events. Now, these are all on the... Oh, fudgesicle. Fudgesicle. Fuck. Okay, here's the problem. Why didn't I think about this earlier? Here's the problem. These are objects that get instantiated. If you are going to do something from the scene here, it won't. You can't add that here. I mean, I could try. I don't know what happened, but it won't work. Yeah, you can't even add the scene objects there. So I could add one of these here, but so that it's not all bad. I can move this, but essentially, I have to move these to this, which means because this is already so long already, I'm going to need to make a custom inspector for this because now this is to the point where there's too much going on for me, and we're going to have a section for projectile spawner events and a section for projectile events. And essentially, every single projectile is going to be given the events that you set here will be copied to the projectile. So we still will have these projectile events here. We're not going to expose them here. I guess we could expose them here. I'll think about that. I think we might expose them here so that you can add new things, but then they're also going to get copied from the values you set here. Every single projectile the spawner puts out will have that. Yeah, so there you go. It'll work. It's a little bit more work because of that little snag and snafu. So I'm gonna go and watch a TV show. So thank you for hanging out. I will talk to you all real soon. Thanks. Bye.